person who would always get to the point where it would just lock in. You get the thing, it would click, and you would go. You're getting any traction with what you're trying to do in your life. I had to get myself to a place of how do I take action and actually move this train like out of the station, but also continue to honor all of the other things for myself. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back for another video. It is a good day to have a good day. Something I shared recently on a couple of different platforms is that I decided to sign a 6-month contract with myself. And I thought today would be a good time to just go through it all. I wanted to share the process of that, what kind of put me in the mindset to want to do that, and maybe just some of the things that I feel like are really helpful if you're getting any traction with what you're trying to do in your life. So something I've noticed is when you're really kind of dabbling around in the manifesting community, we don't stop to acknowledge the fact that when we open the doors to possibilities, when we open the door to the fact that there's so much available for us, we almost put ourselves in this place of just too many options. It's the version of scrolling on Netflix forever and just not being able to pick anything. We have so many choices available, and to that we now have the ability to pursue a lot of other paths that we probably would have initially just wiped off the board simply because we have a different understanding and we're approaching the situation in a different capacity. These are all beautiful and wonderful things, but when we get to a place of just not being able to act, not being able to move, not being able to get out of the space and the spiral, we're not doing ourselves any favors. It's like you have all of this knowledge and you want to be able to kind of give yourself the ability to put it into action. But before, when you were in a space of believing things were right and wrong, and it was a little bit easier to just go because this was wrong and this was right and things are a little bit black and white, now that you're really kind of creating this path for yourself and feeling your way into it and allowing things to be a little bit more divinely guided, it just feels like there can be a lot more noise, or I feel like for me, it doesn't feel like you're like clicking into places easily. And that was something that I found myself really struggling with. Is I used to be the person who would always get to the point where it would just lock in. You get the thing, it would click, and you would go. And now that it's a bit more of a constant working process for me, and I'm consistently looking at, okay, where's my energy for it? Like, am I aligned with it? What are the things that I need to examine and work at? Like, it's a constantly changing process. I had to get myself to a place of how do I take action and actually move this train like out of the station, but also continue to honor all of the other things for myself, continue to honor the things that I'm changing, that I'm growing, that I'm learning, that I'm healing, everything that's going on. I needed to have space for that. But I also really needed to be consistently putting things into motion. Like, I needed the consistent action to get results. Enter the contract. Now, you can do this however it suits you. I was sharing this process that I did with a friend the other day, and the idea of 6 months just seemed like a lot for her. So we talked about doing 3 months, and that felt like a bit of a better situation. I personally just wanted to get to a place of movement and consistency, and what I found for myself was that as somebody who's really had like an all or nothing mentality with things, I needed to find what would allow for me to create boundaries. And the idea of a promise didn't have that same like power for me. But the idea of a contract had that like, okay, click into this. I sign contracts. I read contracts. I understand what I can and can't do. I can understand how I can get out of it. Like, I understand consistently what a contract looks like, and it has that power of authority for me. But the beauty of a contract is that there's a time limit on it. The beauty of a contract is it's pretty generally like detail outlined what you're going to do, but it also gives you the ability to have like an end date in mind. And a lot of this for me was giving myself the healthy boundaries to kind of pursue certain things or to put certain things in like different categories. So as somebody who really is feeling this like season of growth, really feeling this opportunity to just blossom and for things to be really big and kind of aligned at a next level, I'm also looking at like, I still want to find space for the things that are fun. So what does that look like for me? I can get in a really bad headspace of reading all of the time, of just living my life in a book and not actually moving my life forward. I want to cut that off for me. I want it to be a part of my routine where it's healthy and I'm acknowledging how I'm using these things, and that like there's a consistent flow with the content that I'm consuming, but it's not out of a need to hide from emotions or procrastination, that it's like out of something that's filling my cup and also inspiring me. So something that I added in my contract was that I would only read one fiction book a week. And that just kind of gives me that cap. It means I'm probably reading a little bit more of a quality. I'm being really intentional about it. And I'm just not like, I'm not saying that I can't do it, but I am allowing. I also added in that I would do 3 workout classes outside of the house per week. Now, this doesn't happen every single week. This was something that like, I felt like I've needed to do this for a while. And I think sometimes it's really easy to like talk yourself out of the things that you want to be doing or you feel like you should be doing And when you put it in the context of a contract, whether that's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever feels aligned for you, you kind of give yourself the space and the freedom to pursue it. In my time online, I've consistently tested and hired different people in my business. When I hired my Pinterest manager, our original contract was for 6 months. And the idea there is that you have this space and time and everybody kind of gets to have the most successful opportunities because you're not like expecting it to change overnight. You know that it's a process. You know that it takes time. You know that you really need the freedom to just get in the flow and be in the flow of things. And I've seen so much success in that investment. Therefore, why would that not be something that I would want to do for and with myself? The other thing I think that this really does for me is it helps to remove a lot of the second guessing of myself. I have a lot going on at any given time, like a lot of us do, especially when it comes to creating on certain platforms and certain social media. There's often that like expectation that things will happen overnight. And so the ability to trust in the process of whatever you're creating, whatever you're doing, and trusting in your own voice can get lost in the like instant need to see results, the instant need to see things change. And having that extended amount of time lets me, like I said, get lost in the process. I know that I've committed to being open to doing 3 workout classes outside of the house per week. And that means that I get the opportunity to explore that. And that's something that I'm excited about, something I get to look forward to. But it means I'm also going to get to see consistent results. And I know that I'm going to have dedicated workout classes in my routine every week. So if there are days like yesterday where I was slammed all day long and the only movement that I really got in was like walking on the tread on one while I was doing a little bit of work on my laptop for like 30 minutes. I still know that other days I'm going to get in that extra bit of whatever. It also means that I have a little bit of space to be relaxed when I need to be relaxed, and I have the support that I need to have outside of it. But it also gives me, like I said, the freedom to put things on autopilot where it's happening. It's not on my plate. It's not something I'm necessarily having to plan even more. And it provides consistency that I really, really want to see, but was having an issue motivating myself to do, giving myself the like permission to do, and then having like the space to see the results that I wanted because I just wasn't able to provide that consistency with myself, and putting it in the contract has allowed me to do that. Now I put a lot of things in my contract, so I'll share a few of them with you. And this for me, again, is a 6-month contract. It is me till September, and that might change for me. Like if I get 4 or 5 months into it and I think I completely need to redo it, we'll go there. If I need to tweak a few things, we'll go there. But this for me was 6 months. We're doing at least the 1 or 2 things that I've just not been willing to allow myself to do. Those are like the most important. Everything else for me that's on the list is kind of a we would really like to do them, or we would like to grow into them. At the top of my list is to take 3 workout classes outside the house per week. Ideally, I would like to be moving my body 5 days a week, but while I'm getting back into that consistent space of movement, I'm also trying to make sure that I'm managing my recovery time and allowing myself to grow into some of these in a way where like maybe I'm hiring more people on my team, or maybe I'm expanding how much I pass off, or maybe I'm realizing, okay, this and this doesn't actually need to be happening because it's not growing the way that I want it to be growing, but I'm taking enough action consistently because I have this phase that I'm actually getting to see whether or not things are working or not. And that's been massively helpful. I have walk 5K steps per day. I have a budget for how much I would like to spend on clothing, my reading 1 fiction book per week, traveling somewhere at least once a month. I'm going out of town this weekend, meditating, journaling daily. I pretty much do that, but there was a time where I took a couple weeks off, and I want to like keep pushing through. And that can be in different formats. It might be some of the stuff that I consistently do and consistently work through, but I've been playing with some of that. So maybe we'll do an updated like video on people who I find really inspiring for where I'm at in this journey. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see that. I'm drinking my electrolytes and AG1 per day. I have gotten out of the habit of taking my vitamins consistently. There's just too many, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but like if I don't time them right and with meals, and I was just a little bit over it. I decided to add AG1 in because I really want to start making sure that my brain is aging in the best way possible, that I'm fighting any of the like forgetfulness and like everything that's just gonna continue to happen as I get older. So AG1's a thing, and then electrolytes, I normally consume those some time in the day, just because I feel like sometimes I think that I'm hungry, but I actually need just a little bit more salt. Picking up after myself daily. This is one for me where I feel a lot more supported if my space feels clean and safe. And sometimes I can really ignore it, but this is kind of a habit that I want to develop for myself. And that also encourages me to be more mindful about how I'm organizing things. It's not necessarily going to be a perfect situation, but it's something that like I want to consistently grow into and kind of correlate that habit with myself versus the space of just nothing ever being organized and it always being a mess, because that really doesn't feel good to me. And it allows me to consume and have more things than I actually need, or not be able to find things, or at the same time, like just have more stuff than I need at any given point in time, which is a blessing. But there have been some times where I'm like, I know that I have this thing and I absolutely don't know where it is. And I don't want that to be the case, because that is not how I've existed before. So I need to fix that for myself. Continuing to release things that no longer serve me. I'm really working to cut out a lot of the processed foods just to heal my gut and to kind of get myself back in alignment with how I feel best in my body. If savings goal, I do want to try to run 5K. That's like not a big goal, but it's something that I would like to feel more comfortable in. There's a lot of stuff that I have lost over the last year that I'm really trying to get myself back into, and being able to run consistently is one of those things. Giving my all to my business, this contract has really helped me do that. I feel like I'm fully giving myself permission to go all in, to dive all in, to kind of hustle, even though hustle has become almost this like unsafe word. I've gotten to a place now where I feel a lot more inspired to be busy, to be in the hustle, to be in the flow, to be in the work. Like I want that for myself because I know what I want and I know what my goals are. So that involves shutting a lot of people out. It involves shutting a lot of the noise out, because I know that like a soft life is the vibe right now. I'm in a hustle season. As much as I love manifesting, as much as I love the ability to create this big, beautiful life for ourselves, I also recognize that it can be hard to get the momentum going when there's so many possibilities. So having those boundaries lets me feel safe, and it allows me the freedom to do the thing, to try the thing, and to let it have the like buildup that it needs to naturally have to be able to see those results. But it also gives you the ability to know when you're checking in, versus before in the all or nothing mentality, because we've all had that experience with diet culture and workout culture and everything else, where you're just like either all in, doing it all the time, your life's dedicated to that. And I know that we all have our different versions of like what balance looks like, but I think this allows us to kind of pursue and see things and bring things into our lives and give it the chance to see if it works for us, give it a chance to see how we grow with it, give it a chance to see if it's something that we really want to continue doing without the pressure of it needing to perform immediately, because there is that space and time for us to do it. So I hope this helped you. I would love to know what kind of contract you guys are creating for yourself, whether you decide to do something for a month, for 3 months, for 5 months, whatever the case may be. I would also say that I think it's helpful to have the areas that you really want to define and get really specific. And then maybe there are certain areas that need to be a little bit more vague for you. Pick and choose as you please. It is very helpful in areas where you feel like there's no definition and you're really kind of struggling to figure out the balance and the boundaries, to get really specific. Working out and books were like 2 big things for me. But if you're somebody who struggles with like feeling right or wrong all the time, this is not that mentality. I created a contract with the intentions of giving myself healthy, encouraging boundaries. I hope that's hopefully what this inspires you to do, and that it's not a way to demonize yourself from maybe spaces in which you feel less called to, but in giving yourself the freedom and the encouragement and the love. I love you guys. It is a good day to have a good day. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, any questions you may have, and I will see you all for a new video next week.